In this video, we'll delve into a gripping incident that unfolded in England on Sunday, November 14, 2021. Surveillance cameras captured the whereabouts of a 34-year-old woman named Alexandra Morgan at a gas station near Cranbrook, Kent. Shockingly, she hasn't been seen since that day. It wasn't until 4 days later that her parents reported her disappearance to the police, setting off an investigation that would unravel unsettling secrets someone had hoped would remain hidden. Known affectionately as Alex to her friends and family, Alexandra Morgan was a single mother raising 2 children, aged 4 and 11 at the time, in Wellesley LB Cranbrook, Kent. Struggling to maintain relationships with the fathers of her children, she faced the challenges of parenthood on her own. Despite the hardships, Alexandra was determined to provide her children with everything they needed for a better life. Some sources suggest she worked as a dog groomer, portraying her as an energetic and ambitious woman. Little did anyone know that the truth behind her disappearance would turn out to be far more frightening than anyone could have imagined. On November 13, 2021, Alexandra orchestrated a meeting with her parents, leaving her 2 children in their care under the pretext of embarking on a spa vacation with friends. Assuring her parents that she would return in 3 days, she vanished into the unknown. However, on November 17, concerns began to mount as Alexandra failed to retrieve her children, and all attempts at communication went unanswered, a departure from her usual behavior. Growing increasingly anxious and unable to ascertain their daughter's whereabouts, Alexandra's parents took the distressing step of involving the police. The Kent police, recognizing the unusual circumstances surrounding Alexandra Morgan's disappearance, escalated their response, treating the case as a potential crime. In the early stages of the investigation, law enforcement sought to unravel the mystery by determining the spa destination Alexandra had allegedly planned to visit. She informed her parents that she would be accompanied by friends on this spa vacation, prompting the police to focus their initial inquiries on identifying these companions. The investigators, however, could not anticipate the challenges they would encounter in the search for Alexandra. To piece together her movements, law enforcement obtained surveillance footage from a gas station in Cranbrook, the last known location where she was seen. Alexandra's white Mini Cooper emerged as a pivotal element in establishing her whereabouts on the morning of November 14. The footage revealed her refueling the car, making purchases, and subsequently departing, offering crucial insights for the ongoing investigation. At first glance, there's nothing unusual in this video. The gas station manager, Rose McCauley, had maintained a friendly relationship with Alexandra for an impressive 17 years. Rose was present on the morning of Alexandra's disappearance when she purchased £10 worth of gas and placed an order for coffee and a snack. Expressing her concern, Rose remarked, "I don't think anybody knows what's happened to her or where she's gone. For her car not to be seen at all since then is a complete mystery." In an effort to assist, Rose and a friend conducted a search around Hastings for Alexandra's car but, regrettably, found no leads. Alexandra's composure and demeanor have always reflected a lack of embarrassment, making it improbable that she would shy away from returning home out of fear. Those who know her well harbor the hope that nothing untoward has befallen her, fervently wishing for her safety and a swift reappearance. The prevailing sense of worry weighs heavily on those close to her. Recalling the last encounter with Alexandra, it was evident that she had taken special care in her appearance that Sunday, donned in stylish attire, a full face of makeup, and impeccably styled hair. Remarkably, she appeared more meticulously groomed than ever before. This departure from her usual routine was highlighted by her early morning visit, a deviation from her typical schedule. Despite the unusual circumstances, Alexandra exuded positivity, sporting a cheerful demeanor and a radiant smile, as noted by those who had the privilege of interviewing her friends. Detectives uncovered a troubling aspect of Alexandra's past when they found social media posts from 2018 detailing her concerns about a persistent stalker shadowing her every move. In a post from 2019, she shared an image with a defiant message. "Hi stalker, stop stalking my page lovelies, it's quite sad. Not only that, but you're making it more obvious by the day, seeing as we're not even friends on Facebook. Nothing to see here unless I want you to. If you carry on or post your antics for all to see, have a lovely day." These revelations prompted investigators to explore whether these messages might be connected to her sudden disappearance. A police spokesperson conveyed the gravity of the situation, stating, "It is completely out of character for Alexandra not to contact her family, and we are now treating this case as a potential homicide." The unfolding investigation now sought to untangle the mystery surrounding Alexandra's online experiences and determine if they held any clues to her current whereabouts. Providing a detailed description, Alexandra is approximately 5 feet 6 inches tall, with a slender build and brown shoulder-length hair. At the time of her disappearance, she was attired in a green knee-length quilted coat, a black top, ripped blue jeans, knee-high black boots, and adorned with a silver necklace. The details surrounding her last known appearance are crucial, and any snippet of information, no matter how small, could prove instrumental in resolving this perplexing case. While many missing person cases remain shrouded in mystery, this time, every piece of information is paramount in unraveling the enigma surrounding Alexandra's disappearance. Alexandra Morgan's digital trail eventually provided the police with crucial insights into her disappearance, unveiling some shocking secrets. In her pursuit of financial improvement, Alexandra had taken up work as an escort, discreetly advertising her services on the internet, information unbeknownst to her family and friends. The revelation added a layer of complexity to the investigation, shedding light on the challenges faced by women in this profession, considered among the most vulnerable. Acknowledging the risks associated with such work, including encounters with clients of unknown backgrounds, the police, like everyone else, were aware of the potential dangers. Women in this line of work often find themselves navigating unpredictable and perilous situations, uncertain about the nature of their clients, be it an ordinary individual seeking such services for personal reasons or a potential threat. As investigators delved deeper, they discovered that Alexandra had arranged a meeting with a regular client just before her disappearance. Simultaneously, this individual was apprehended by law enforcement, marking a significant development in the ongoing inquiry. The police spokesperson's announcement sadly confirmed that Alexandra had met a tragic fate. November 25, 2021, on suspicion of murder. To aid in locating Alexandra, Kent Police, in collaboration with Sussex Police, initiated searches in 3 locations within the Hastings and St. Leonards-on-Sea area. As part of the efforts to locate Alexandra, residents should anticipate an increased police presence in the area, underscoring the gravity of the ongoing investigations. The arrested individual, identified as Mark Brown, is a 40-year-old construction worker residing in St. Leonards-on-Sea. Mark, a family man with a wife and son, managed to conceal his alleged double life, with his family unsuspecting of any wrongdoing before Alexandra's disappearance. Prior to her vanishing, Alexandra had multiple encounters with Mark. According to Sussex Police, Mark, at one point, purchased a Mini Cooper for Alexandra. Their initial meeting took place on June 8, 2021, initiated by Mark after discovering her profile on an adult website. This meeting occurred at Alexandra's home in Sissinghurst, near Cranbrook, Kent, and seemingly transpired without incident. Subsequently, their interactions continued sporadically until the tragic events following November 14, 2021. On June 21, almost 2 weeks following their initial encounter, Alexandra and Mark Brown had their second meeting. This time, Alexandra visited a rural location, Bridge Farm near Hastings, Kent, a property Brown had rented for various purposes, including meetings with women. Throughout August and September, their interactions escalated, with 7 more encounters taking place. Unbeknownst to Alexandra, she was unwittingly navigating deeper into a dangerous situation. On October 23, 2021, Brown sent Alexandra a text message, introducing the unsettling proposition of a seemingly risk-free business transaction. The offer outlined a significant sum of £100,000, along with a 3-day stay at a hotel, the provision of a new identification, a reliable vehicle, and funds for shopping. The seemingly enticing proposal, however, was a precursor to the alarming events that unfolded after Alexandra's agreement to the arrangement. All he required from Alexandra was a seemingly simple task: stepping outside for a cigarette, gathering cash, and making a few purchases. However, this apparently mundane request concealed a darker motive with dire consequences. Online searches conducted by Alexandra following this proposal unveiled her genuine dedication to improving her children's lives. Among her searches was "Minimum Deposit for a House 2021," showcasing her aspirations for a more stable and secure future for her family. These online traces stand as a testament to Alexandra's character and the depths she was willing to go to secure a better life for her children. Additional searches conducted by Alexandra revealed her intentions to establish new businesses with the funds she anticipated earning. Among her online queries were, "How much can you earn running a sunbed shop UK?" and "How much tax would I pay on £100,000? These searches provided insight into Alexandra's entrepreneurial aspirations and financial planning. Contrary to what she had informed her parents about going to a spa with friends, Alexandra's actual plan was to meet Mark Brown at the farm. Departing her residence on November 14th, CCTV footage captured her purchasing gas in Cranbrook at 7:20 am. By 8 am, she had arrived at Little Bridge Farm. 3 days later, on November 17th, Brown relocated Alexandra's car to Holmhurst Lane in St. Leonard's, having previously switched her license plate with a counterfeit one. This intricate series of events unfolded on November 18th. Alexandra's mother went to the police after her daughter did not pick up the children and stopped answering calls and texts on November 23rd. The police found CCTV footage showing Alexandra's car following Brown's Jaguar on the road to Little Bridge Farm. Kent police blocked access to the farm and started asking Brown questions. He admitted that he had met with Alexandra. However, he said she left after 45 minutes. He said the police could take his fingerprints and a DNA sample. 2 days later, on November 25th, Mark Brown was apprehended as the primary suspect in the Alexandra Morgan case. However, to comprehend the full story and the events leading to her tragic fate, we must rewind to a time when Alexandra had yet to encounter Mark Brown. Enter Leah Ware, a 33-year-old mother of 3 who, unfortunately, did not have custody of her children. Leah, an avid animal lover, dedicated her affections to her horse, 3 goats, and 2 dogs, an imposing mastiff named Duke and a Pomeranian named Lady. Leah's connection with Mark Brown dates back to March 25, 2018, when he contacted her through an escort website where she advertised her services. Remarkably, it was the very same website where Brown would later intersect with Alexandra Morgan, setting the stage for an unsettling chain of events. As 2018 drew to a close, Brown and Ware had transitioned from acquaintances to a couple and took the step of cohabitating by renting an apartment together. After the lease concluded 6 months later, Ware made the move to Brown's property at Little Bridge Farm, where her living arrangements were a shipping container. Brown characterized their relationship as a roller coaster, a descriptor that gained traction as it became evident that Leah led a tumultuous and chaotic lifestyle. Leah was a recipient of benefits, receiving weekly payments that were frequently withdrawn from her account by Brown. Despite a history of illegal substance use and mental health challenges, many attested to Leah's efforts to regain custody of her children. Describing her daughter, Leah's mother fondly referred to her as an angel. Despite Leah's disinterest in formal education, her deep affinity for animals was notable. The relationship between Brown and Ware endured for 3 years before she mysteriously vanished without a trace in May 2021. On the evening of May 5th and into the early hours of May 6th, Leah spent time with a friend named Jack Tyler, a convicted substance dealer. Unfortunately, during their time together, they engaged in the consumption of illegal substances. That fateful evening marked the last time anyone saw Leah, as an intimate relationship unfolded between her and Jack Tyler. The final outgoing call from Leah's phone was made on May 7th at 8:55 a.m. Law enforcement believes she met her demise on that very day. 2 weeks later, on June 8, 2021, Mark Brown returned to the website where he initially met Leah. Astonishingly, just a month after Leah's mysterious disappearance, Alexandra had her first encounter with Brown at her home. Despite the tragic events that transpired, Alexandra perceived Brown as reasonable and generous during their initial meeting. Unbeknownst to her, a mere month prior, another woman in a relationship with Brown had vanished without a trace. As the investigation unfolded, detectives stumbled upon revealing messages sent by Brown, shedding light on the unsettling pattern surrounding his connections with these women. 5 days after meeting Alexandra Morgan, Mark Brown wrote messages to his high school girlfriend. However, these messages didn't pertain to Alexandra. They were chillingly focused on Leah Aware. The messages conveyed a disturbing account. "I'm going to be very careful how I word this. It happened again, not very long ago when disposing of something. It's a very unpleasant thing to do. An old oil drum, 5 liters of diesel, and hey presto, there's not very much left. It gets hot, very hot. It glows almost white. The things I have done weigh heavily on my heart, on my head, and my soul, a psychopath with a conscience. It's a joke, really." These unsettling messages raised suspicions among investigators, leading them to believe that Alexandra Morgan was not only deceased but, more horrifyingly, that she might not be the only victim of Mark Brown's sinister actions. A spokesperson from the Sussex Police Major Crime Team remarked, "Despite extensive investigations, we have not located Leah or her body and are appealing for the public's help in finding her or any clues connected to her disappearance." Following Mark Brown's arrest on November 25, 2021, law enforcement conducted a search of his farm. During the search, a barrel was discovered, inside of which something had recently been burned. Upon closer examination, forensic experts identified the presence of remains, bones, and teeth. Subsequent laboratory analyses left no room for doubt, confirming that these were the remains of Alexandra Morgan. In a joint statement, Neil Kimber of Kent Police and Andy Wolstenholme from Sussex Police expressed, "Our thoughts are with the families of both Alexandra and Leah at this difficult time. While we have located the remains of Alexandra, we have yet to find Leah, and our investigations remain ongoing. We are appealing for anyone with information regarding either Leah or Alexandra to contact us urgently." Describing Leah, the police note her as a white female, standing at 5 feet 6 inches tall, with a slim build, very long black hair, and blue eyes. They mention that Leah possibly had tattoos, including a dragon on her right leg, Chinese writing on her right hip, and a fairy sitting on a flower over the name Ryan on her right leg. The search at Brown's farm spanned approximately a month, concluding on January 7, 2022. During the investigation, in a pond on the property, the police discovered the bones of a Pomeranian with some weight tied to a collar. Investigators believed it to be Leah's dog, a pet that Brown callously disposed of following Leah's tragic demise. While the police were unable to locate Leah Ware's remains, they proceeded to charge Brown with her demise on February 1, 2022. Earlier, he had been charged with the life of Alexandra Morgan. During interrogation, Brown initially denied the charges. However, when confronted with evidence suggesting he had disposed of Alexandra Morgan's body through burning, he confessed to her death. Nevertheless, Brown insisted that Alexandra's demise was the result of an accident. The trial of Mark Brown commenced on October 17, 2022, revealing new details of both cases during court sessions. During the trial, the jury learned that Brown consistently withdrew money from Leah Ware's bank account following her disappearance. Starting from May 7, 2021, the day Leah vanished, Brown routinely collected her prescription medication and made withdrawals at a cash point using her newly acquired bank card. Each week, he delivered the card to his sister Cheryl's address. Subsequently, he left the withdrawn cash and medication in a horse box associated with their pet, Birdie. Prosecution lawyer Duncan Atkinson provided detailed accounts of multiple instances in the weeks following Leah Ware's disappearance when Brown extracted £200 from her account, the maximum limit allowed in a single transaction. As disclosed to the jurors, these actions led to Leah Ware's balance plummeting from over £2,000 to a mere £45. In July 2021, Brown made two £200 withdrawals from Leah Ware's account shortly after transferring £200 to his own account. When questioned about this, he offered the explanation. "I probably used her £200, then replaced it. At that time, someone owed me £430, so they probably paid me back." In response, prosecution lawyer Duncan Atkinson asserted, "The reality is the withdrawals of money from Leah Ware's account had nothing to do with her and everything to do with you. Is it a coincidence she died after her new bank card arrived?" Brown replied, "I don't know what you're getting at because, as far as I'm aware, she's not dead." Atkinson pressed further, stating, "You were running off Ms. Ware's money, weren't you? You knew Leah was somewhere where money wasn't going to help her?" Brown retorted, "I don't know what planet you're living on." Testimony during the trial revealed that Leah had expressed a desire for Brown to leave his wife for her, as disclosed by one of her friends. This aspect of their relationship may have played a role in Brown's decisions leading up to the crime. Throughout the trial concerning Alexandra Morgan's death, Brown maintained his stance that her demise was an accident. Brown claimed that Alexandra slipped and fell on a tool, striking her head in the workshop he rented at Little Bridge Farm. He maintained that upon quickly reaching her, he observed a substantial amount of mud, prompting him to utilize a towel to address the bleeding from her head. However, when he moved her head to place the towel beneath it, he discovered even more blood. During the trial, prosecution lawyer Duncan Atkinson objected, asserting, "When you first saw she's gone to the ground on her back, there's already a lot of blood around her head. So it's clear before you do anything else that she's hurt and needs help and needs a doctor. That's absolutely obvious." Brown responded to the objection. Brown asserted, "Yes, but I was panicked, and the first thing I did was grab a towel to stop the bleeding. At that point, she was gone, and it was my priority to try and do CPR because I couldn't find a pulse. I didn't call an ambulance because my priority was to try and stop the bleeding and then to get a pulse. There's no point calling an ambulance if it's not going to get there on time. Your priority is to stop the bleeding." After attempting CPR and using a mirror to check for breath, Brown claimed he was certain Alexandra Morgan had passed away in the subsequent 5 minutes. He used jumpers to staunch the flow of blood from under the workshop. Brown's narrative continued, explaining how he went outside to vomit and retrieved his mobile phone from either his car or jacket pocket to call the emergency services. Subsequently, he decided to conceal the incident, stating, "I wrapped Alex in a sleeping bag and put a towel around her head to stop more blood coming out. I had a dead escort on my workshop floor. What would it look like? How would I prove she had an accident? It was a stupid thing to do. It was the worst mistake I ever made in my life." Brown then made the decision to dispose of Alexandra's body using an incinerator he had constructed from an old oil drum earlier that year, regularly utilizing it for waste disposal. Brown maintained that he had no involvement in the disappearance of Leah Ware and believed that she was still alive. And Alexandra's death was purportedly an accident. However, during the trial, the court received testimony from Brown's boss, Alan Downs. Downs revealed that Brown had cautioned him that the police might come to arrest him. This conversation occurred on November 24th. When Downs inquired about the potential charges, Brown responded, "For a double murder." This revelation became a pivotal moment in the trial, as Brown's response indirectly indicated that Leah Ware was deceased and that Alexandra Morgan did not die as a result of an accident. However, Brown denied making such statements. He asserted, "No, I said I'm going away for 25 to life. I don't know where he got double from. I said I would be arrested for one murder. I didn't say double." When pressed further by Atkinson, who asked, "Who have you killed?" Brown responded, "It should have been no one." Atkinson countered, "It should have been yes. But that's not what I thought was going to happen. I can't prove I didn't kill Alex, and I didn't think anyone would believe me. That's why I did what I did." They were both mothers, daughters, and much more to their families and friends. Both lost their lives in the cruelest of circumstances, falling into the trap of an evil maniac. They left behind children and devastated families. Throughout the murder trial at Hove Crown Court, jurors learned about the lives of both Leah Ware and Alex Morgan, from their upbringings to their children and relationships, their work, and their passions. Jurors also heard attempts from Brown to, as the prosecutor once put it, blacken their names, painting a false picture of the women. The memories of Leah Ware and Alex Morgan smiling and enjoying life should be what people remember about them. Both deserve to remain in the memories of their loved ones for their numerous qualities. On December 1, 2022, a jury of 10 men and 2 women found 41-year-old Brown guilty on all counts. He stated that the court would sentence Brown to life in prison, and he would have to decide the minimum prison term or consider if he would ever be released on parole license. The judge also mentioned that if Brown chose to disclose what he had done with Leah Ware's body, he would take it into account during sentencing. However, Brown did not take this chance. Before the judge passed down his sentence, the court heard a victim impact statement from Leah Ware's mother, Rebecca Martin. She expressed that Brown continues to extend his sadistic torture of their family's life by not revealing what happened to her daughter. Martin emphasized that Leah lost her life because Mark Brown wanted to gratify his depraved desires. He controlled and manipulated every aspect of her life, and then, when he had had enough, he discarded her like a piece of dirt. The court also heard from Alex Morgan's parents, who described her as bright and energetic, with a determination to succeed. She faced challenges but was overcoming them and had hopes for her future with her 2 children whom she adored. On January 13, 2023, the court sentenced Mark Brown to 2 life sentences, and he will be eligible to apply for parole in 49 years. Judge Hilliard, who sentenced Brown in his absence after he refused to come to the court, stated, "No sentence I pass is any measure of the lives lost. Nothing can put right what the defendant has done. That is not possible. His conscience is untroubled by what he has done.